There's still a police presence here, but that memorial, like you said, right behind me here is growing out on the sidewalk to honor those who have lost their lives. Even getting out of the car just a couple of minutes ago took all of my body and weight to even close the car door. Lord Stanley's cup is in the house. The Avs trying not to think about drinking from it just yet. We know before the series started that they wouldn't even look at it. I know Marty mentioned 20 inches in divide. I think it's probably close to that. If you can kind of see where I'm standing, I'm about 5'2", and the snow's coming up to my calves, so it's a lot to trudge through. The message from the Teller County Sheriff's Office today was that although a lot of good work was done overnight, they're not out of the woods yet, and that leaves a lot of residents up here on edge. We did just check in with CPW, and they still have not found that missing man. That boat capsized with 13 people on board. 11 of them were sent to the hospital. Investigating after they found a dead body inside the garage of the home here. This is where police shot that carjacking suspect, sending him crashing into an apartment garage at the 7-Eleven here, and it's still an active scene. You can take a look at it here with all the caution tape around the gas station. The party, I'd say it started today, but it really started Sunday. We're just kind of, putting an exclamation point on it today. But I found some Colorado Springs fans here with me this morning.
She sees it and she's ready.
Here we go. Okay, that scares me a little bit, but you said it doesn't hurt them. I'm on top of a dinosaur, Bryn, and let me tell you, I've been practicing its name. This is a Giganotosaurus. Did I get that? Barrett is in good spirits, and he says he tries to make the best out of any situation. But after being shot 7 times, he knows he's lucky to be alive. Barrett Hudson is sitting up in his hospital bed just after finishing physical therapy today.
I shouldn't be here. I know I shouldn't be here.
Barrett went to Club Q for the first time Saturday night.
We just went to check it out and went on the wrong night.
He was there for less than an hour when a gunman walked in the door.
I heard those shots, and then I saw a door shut from the entrance. I saw AR-15.
Police identifying the alleged shooter as Anderson Lee Aldridge.
I saw some guy put his hands up like this and take a few steps back, and he shot him like he was nothing. I went through the back, through these 2 double doors. I got shot 7 times. I fell. I got back up after he shot me, and I know I got hit twice, but I had no clue I got hit 7 times.
Barrett says he was able to scale a fence, jumped off a ledge, and ran more than a quarter of a mile to a 7-Eleven.
And I was screaming for help, and these people saved my life.
We're at 7-Eleven at 3502 with a patient who's been shot 7 times. Do I have an AMR coming my way, dispatch to 7-Eleven?
If none of us were out here, if my coworkers probably weren't leaving at the time or something, he probably would have just collapsed.
They had to cut all my clothes off of me because they couldn't tell how many times I had been hit, where the blood was coming from. I called my dad because I was like, I didn't think I was going to make it. And I wanted him to be the last person I talked to. And they got me to the hospital.
Now at the hospital, Barrett says he's doing better than expected.
All 7 shots, missed my spine, missed my lungs, missed my colon, missed everything I could have missed. I just got done walking. I was so fortunate.
And seeing life through a new lens.
I've learned, it's only been a little over 24 hours, but I feel like I've already learned so much in just life. And you got to look at the cup as it's half full, never half empty again.
Right now, Barrett doesn't have a timetable for when he'll leave the hospital, but he says he's working as hard as he can to get out. And while he recovers, he's advocating for better safeguards at bars and clubs that cater to the LGBTQ community. Reporting in Colorado Springs, Jessica Gruenling, KRDO News Channel 13. All over Harrison High School are reminders of Fermin Villalpando. In the trophy case, in the football locker room, and in the stadium.
He was always had a plan for everything for his life. He was always, worried about everybody else, and he just had a big heart.
But on October 6, 2006, at 17 years old, his big heart gave out. Villalpando was running onto the football field during the Panthers' homecoming game when he collapsed.
I just remember them just saying that they were going to take him to the hospital.
Villalpando was pronounced dead at the hospital. His family would later learn from the coroner he had a heart condition.
What it was is that his heart had one of the arteries going into his heart was at an angle. So it just like shut off, and that just took him. So that was hard.
And it's still hard for his mom, Sunday Romero, 16 years later. Those feelings now coming back after watching Buffalo Bills' Damar Hamlin suffer a cardiac arrest on Monday Night Football.
First of all, I've never seen anything like this.
Romero says she had just started watching football again this season because of how much her son loved it.
I happened to look up right when it happened, and it just, for that guy's family, I just feel for them because I know, and I'm glad that they were able to resuscitate that guy, but you just never know.
Sudden cardiac arrest is the #1 cause of sudden death in young athletes, with approximately 2,000 young people dying each year. But Romero's advice for parents is let your kids play, just use precaution.
I would say, if your child wants to do it, just try to be proactive with making sure they go to the doctor, stuff like that. Because football has been around forever, and you can't, it's just one of them things where you just have to trust, and pray that everything goes good, But I wouldn't stop any even knowing now.
You're expecting this help is coming. You're counting on that. You've done what you're supposed to do.
It's been difficult. It's put me behind. I'm going to have to catch up for this.
It's kind of been a struggle finding, help, finding a way to get food.
3 El Paso County moms are struggling to make ends meet and put food on the table. Denise, Kat, and Faith have all relied on food stamps for at least the last year.
I had called them because I hadn't heard anything, and usually I hear back from them relatively quickly. Within usually like about a week, I hear back from them, and it had been over a month.
Renewing their benefits with the El Paso County Department of Human Services is taking longer than normal.
I've had to use my babysitting money to buy food for my kids, and I still got to figure out how to get gas to get to work.
Chris Garvin, the Deputy Director of El Paso County Human Services, says they are experiencing a month delay. Records show it took an average of 47 days to process recertifications in October.
And that's because of the workload and the increase of research because of the pandemic. So as people came in and got benefits during that time, it increased our workload and our caseload. So that, and then people every 6 months have to be recertified and interviewed. So that's a huge workload on our staff.
The workload in El Paso County is about 11% higher than last year. According to DHS, through September, they're seeing close to 1,200 more cases each month as compared to last year. And they're down 18 employees.
And then you add on top of the new employees that have come in and are in training, that's about 13% of our workforce. And so it takes 6 months to a year to learn this job and to do it proficiently.
DHS also says to try and catch up, employees are working overtime and giving up holidays.
Now I'm wondering how they're going to be able to catch up. They tell us, go to the food bank, find other resources, but, all those resources are going to be taken fast if everybody needs these benefits.